Now, if you're taking notes tonight, which all the really saved people are, you're going to write down at the top, matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Because David was a man after God's own what? Heart. David, he wasn't perfect. He was far from perfect. He made mistakes. Don't get the idea that being after God's heart means you're perfect. No. It means that you continually pursue a relationship with the Lord. You continually pursue the presence of God. You never relent in your pursuit of God's plan for your life. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss it. You're going to blow it. You're going to be disobedient. You're going to do things. I have done a ton of knuckleheaded things. But the one thing I've done right, Ricky, I kept pursuing God. And I'm 37 years old now. I know I don't look that old, but I am. Oh, come on. They're looking good a little bit. Some of that. Alex, that's my favorite guy in the house right there. Okay. I continue to pursue God. And this is what makes somebody after God's heart, because you're gonna have issues like the things we're gonna see tonight in David's sons, and God will work those things out if you keep pursuing Him. But if you stop pursuing Him, those issues will become strongholds, and they will literally take over your life and begin to dictate everything you do, and they will ruin your life. So basically, the more of Jesus you get, the better things are going to work out for you. The more you dwell on the things that the devil wants to get in your life, the worse things are going to work out for you. So David had 4 sons. He had a lot more than that, but he had 4 sons that are main characters in the biblical narrative of his life. He had 4 sons. How many sons did he have? Y'all get an A. There it is, 100, A plus. Okay, 1 for 1. David had 4 sons, and all 4 of these guys had what we call issues. Y'all know what an issue is? Is that guy? You say, oh, that guy got issues. Or that girl, she got issues. Y'all know anybody got some issues? Some of y'all thinking like, this person next to me got issues. No. How many of you think your mama got issues? No, do not raise your hand, right? Do not raise your hand. That was a trick question. Okay. All right. You got some of y'all got an F on that one. Y'all failed that one. Never say anything about your mama. I don't care if she is the devil's sister. I don't care if she's Lucifera. I'm telling you right now, don't say anything about your mama. Okay. But yeah, or anybody else. That's right. See, there's the pastor right there, bringing in the wisdom. Okay. David had 4 sons. And the problem is that David didn't teach his sons how to have a heart after God. And the avenue for a father to teach his sons is something none of us like, and that's called discipline. A father can love you or tell you that he loves you. He can provide for you. He can even lavish you with gifts. But until he's willing to whip your tail, he really don't love you. And David really didn't love his sons. Because this verse we just read said, he never asked them, why are you doing that? In other words, what are you doing? Why are you tripping? What are you doing? And that's what a father does. A father says, what are you doing? My dad and I always laugh about this because the second edition of the New Living says, why are you doing that? But the first edition says, what are you doing? And I like that better. And we used to say, we could preach that 4 different ways. What are you doing? Or you could say, what are you doing? Or you could say, what are you doing? Or you could say, what are you doing? 4 points in 1 phrase. But that's what a father does. A father says, what are you doing? A mama says, are you hungry? But a dad says, thump on the head, what are you doing? And David never thumped anybody on the head. David was too busy being king, and he should have been busy whipping all them boys he had. They might say, well, he had too many boys to this, but well, he maybe should have had a few less wives. But that's a whole different story. We'll leave that for another time. He never asked them, what are you doing? So these boys had issues. They had 4 issues that I believe we see right now are trying to destroy this generation. And there could be more, but these are 4 things that the Lord gave me. And this was something the Lord just dropped in my heart. And I want to share those 4 things with you, okay? So I'm going to give them to you in the order of his sons and their issues. And the first issue we see is Amnon. Now, I think I gave us, I think they're going to put some, there you go. Okay, there it is. There's Amnon. And that is, I won't. Now, you're going to notice all of these start with I. Me, I, self. It's about me. And everything today is all about me. It's all, you know, do whatever feels good. And Amnon, now let me tell you, we're not going to go back and read all these stories. I'm just going to give you the highlights. Amnon fell in love with his sister. Okay, a little bit something wrong with that. Actually, big something wrong with that. Okay. He fell in love with his sister, and he decided that he wanted to sleep with his sister. Now, is there anything wrong with that? Well, see, the world says, oh, no. If that's how you feel, then we're gonna respect how you feel. No, I don't care how you feel. You don't sleep with your sister. It's wrong. Yeah, exactly. Just, hey, do whatever feels good is what the world says. They say, hey, if you're a guy and you happen to be attracted to another guy, hey, well, then it must be right because it's what you want. If you're a girl, you like another girl, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's what you want. And Amnon's issue is that he had unchecked passion. I want my sister. And what did he do? I will take my sister. I can't control myself because I'm not going to deny myself what I want. So the first big thing that manifested from a lack of discipline, and the big issue that we see from Amnon is unchecked desire, unchecked passion. I want Tamar, is what he said. That was his half-sister. I want Tamar. And if I want her, then I will have her, and I will take her if nobody wants me to have it. I'll take what I want. I want her. And the first issue that the devil, this is right now, you can see this issue more than any other issue in our generation is, I want what I want, and because I want it, it must be right. It's right because I want it. And so, it's yeah, come on. Ashley, you just stand up, just run around, and you just do whatever. You ain't going to bother me. In Miami at Maldonado's, they were coming up and slapping my leg. It was crazy. They're crazy. Craziness. Absolutely crazy. Now, don't do that tonight. But if I want it, then it's right. Because why would I want something that's not right for me? And we just keep moving the line. We just keep moving the line. And now they're saying, oh, well, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a pedophile. It's just a condition. It's just a condition. And who are we to say what's right for them? If they want it, then it must be right. Where's it going to end? It's never going to end. Because the devil is going to push the envelope against the divine order and the divine edict of God as far as he can. And the first issue that's keeping this generation from having a heart after God is following after the idol of self-desire. We're so busy pursuing what we want in a pleasurable sense, our passions, our desires, what we long for, that we have no room to want him. You know why people don't want more of God? Because their want is all used up on something else. You don't just not want God and not want anything else. You just don't. No. Everybody wants something. So if you don't want more of God, it's because you want more of something else. Yeah, that's true. And usually want more of somebody else. And if you're a Satanist, you might want more of Satan. But most people are not Satanists. They want more of that person that they're dreaming about sleeping with and fantasizing about and all that kind of weirdness. So Amnon was the first issue that manifested itself that kept a generation from pursuing God and having a heart after God. And his issue was, I want something different than what I should want. Now, everybody in here tonight knows that they should want more of God. If you're here tonight, you know that. Just the fact you're even in this building lets me know you got enough background and context to even be in here. You know that. But the question is, are we willing to give up what we want in order to pursue what we should want? And we've been so brainwashed by the world that what we want is right, that we don't think that we can change what we want. The world never tells you to change what you want. The world says go for what you want. And if it's not acceptable enough culturally yet, then medicate. 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 Don't change what you desire. Just dull it. Medicate it. Find a distraction. So I think the first thing that has to happen for us to regain a heart after God is our want to has to change. Our want to has to change. Now here's the thing about changing your want to. You have to take action before the feelings ever start changing. If you wait on the feelings to change before the actions change, you'll be here 10 years from now wanting more counseling. But what you really need is to start acting on the right desires. I ministered to one young man who had been living as a homosexual. He actually had been living as a girl, and he was a guy. He said, I don't know what to do. I said, well, I'll tell you what to do. Go get you some pants that fit. Go get you a shirt that fits from the men's section of the store. Go get you some tennis shoes that are not pink, and go get you a job doing something that men do. Try that. Because working at the perfume desk at Dillard's is never going to lead you to wanting to be masculine. How about that? Let's try that on. Get out there in that flower bed and pull some weeds in that heat. Get you a weed eater. Get you some Dickies on and a riding lawnmower and some big old goofy looking goggles. Forget about them Chanel glasses and get you some weed eating goggles. And let's see how that want to starts changing in you. Now you're gonna need some deliverance and all. We're not talking. He had to have all of that, but I'm saying that the actions had to start leading. Then the feelings began to change. And I remember when this young man who when I met him, I thought was a her, but it was a him. He got delivered, and then we began to talk. And now I see him, and I don't even think that he used to be living as a girl. Why? Because he's a man now. And there was some transition. There was some time where he had to work it out, but he worked it out. He did. He had a want to in him for Jesus that was stronger than the want to be a girl. Let's look at the second thing here. Absalom was the second son that we really deal with. And Absalom is very similar to Adonijah, but Absalom decided that he was going to be king. Both of them decided they were going to be king, but they had two different issues. They manifested very similarly because they couldn't resist it. But they were two different issues. Absalom was the second area. And the second area, the first one was, I won't. This is what I want. Amnon, I want Tamar. I want to do this. The second one Absalom represents is, I will. I will. Now, this one is what got the devil kicked out of heaven. I will. He said, I will ascend above the Holy One. I will seat myself above God. I will. That says, hey, what is it? The first one's all about passion and pleasure. This one is about pride. This one says, I will do this. I will be this. I will be recognized. I will be this person. I'll be more popular than that person. I will have more friends on Facebook than them. I will. That's what Absalom did. And Absalom, see, the root of all these was a lack of fathering. When David, you mean to tell me for 4 years Absalom was out there in the courtyard of the king, bowing out there in false humility and loving on people in a way to manipulate them and telling them he would hear their case and trying to lead the hearts of Israel astray for 4 years? And David never looked out on the porch one time and saw him out there doing that and thought, what is Absalom doing? And called him in there and said, what are you out there doing? You mean nobody ever came to David one time and said, David, Absalom's out there in the foyer of the palace leading people astray, trying to take your throne, and David didn't call him in there and say, what are you doing? I don't know. Where was David? What was he doing? I don't know. But Absalom's pride, I will. See, and here's the thing. Pride manifests in its tangible form in something we call ambition. Ambition. The ambition says, the world applauds ambition. The world says, that young man, he's full of ambition. What do you mean, full of ambition? See, that's like saying, oh yeah, that young man, he stinks. No, B.O. ain't cool any which way you slice it. There's never going to be a day where B.O. comes back in style. You ever been around somebody that stinks? You ever had a conversation with somebody whose breath would just fog your eyeballs? And your eyes are tearing up. They're like going, trying to you're just like, oh. You can't hear. Listen. B.O. is never going to be in style, and ambition is never going to look good on a Christian. But the world applauds ambition. The world says, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to be. I don't care what I have to do to get there. I don't care who I got to step on. I don't care what I got to do. I don't care who I got to sleep with. I'm going to get there because that's what I will do. I will ascend. The way, that don't matter. Who I got to disregard in the process doesn't matter. Absalom was willing to kill his own dad and do all kind of unspeakable things because he had an I will down in his heart. And maybe I talk about I won't. You go, oh, that's not me at all. But what about I will? Because there's some in here tonight, you've got an I will down inside of your heart that is just as demonic as an I want. And, I'm not a homosexual, but I'm not doing this. So I'm not wanting to sleep with my sister. I'm not this again. But what about that I will? What about that inner vow? What about that thing that you decided in your heart, in the secrecy, in the counsel of your own inner voice? And it's in there, and nobody even knows it. But if it comes between your best friend sitting next to you right now and that I will, they gone. And the moment somebody who loves you and is looking out for you tries to come to you and give you a word of wisdom or counsel or direction, they out. They gone. And it may be you leaving and not going to youth group anymore. Or it may be going and finding another church. Or it may be you going to this place or that place, whatever. But the I will becomes a God. And everything in your life has to bow down to that I will. Why? Because I will. It can be the dumbest thing. It can be, you know what? I will date the quarterback of the high school. I don't care if he has a girlfriend. I will sleep with him in secret, but I will have him. I'll take pictures of myself and send them to him on his cell phone, but I will seduce him because I will. I will be rich. I will have a big house. I will do whatever it takes to not live the way that I've lived growing up. See, it doesn't have to start in a place that's wrong. The devil don't care where the ambition comes from as long as it's ambition and it's headed to the wrong place. You can get to the wrong destination leaving from a good one. You don't have to leave from a bad place to get to a bad place. You can leave the country club and end up in the ghetto just as easily you can leave the ghetto and end up in the ghetto. Woo. Why? Because I will. It's what I'll do. I'll cheat on my taxes. I'll make deals on the side that are illegal. I'll sell drugs. Why? Because I will have an Escalade. I'll live in a house that costs less than the car. Why? Because I will have an Escalade. Have you ever driven through a bad part of town and see? I remember when the Navigators came out and they were like, if you had a Navigator, you were like the stuff. Navigator was like the Escalade before the Escalade. I mean, Escalades are like the new Navigators. I mean, if you had a Navigator, I remember going over to a home group meeting we were having at the church, and I remember passing by a house in a neighborhood, and there was a $50,000 Navigator sitting outside of a $20,000 house. And I'm like, man, I think if I had to pick, I'd probably want to sleep in something that was worth more than what I drove to work in. Yeah, they probably sleep. They got them a mattress up in there. I would. The air probably works better in there. But what is that? What is it? I will. It's pride. It's, you know what? I live in a $20,000 house, but I want everybody that I work with to think that I am a baller. Because I am a baller. I will be a baller. I am a baller. I'm going to live like a baller. I might go into bankruptcy 8 times before I'm 25. But I will. I don't care. I'll ruin my credit. Why? Because I will. And anything that gets between me and what I will must come down. I'll burn it to the ground because I will. I don't care if it's my own dad. I'll run him out of town. I'll rape his concubines. I'll chase him down with an army. I'll kill him and everybody with him. I'll disgrace him. I'll defame him. I'll do anything. I'll sell my own mama if that's what it takes because I will. I will. We're talking about matters of the heart. And you know what? Don't sit up in here at 12 and 13 years old and go, oh, well, I'm just young. No. That's when this stuff starts. When you looking all innocent and all sweet and all, but there's an altar to the shrine of I will that's being laid in your heart, stone by stone, brick by brick. And that's why when Pastor Martin, that's why when now we get kids, they're in youth group and they're in church, and then they get 18 and all of a sudden, whoop, they're gone. We'll never see them again. And we got all these statistics about how many people are leaving the church, and millennials are leaving the church. Why? Because the whole time they were in church, they were really building an altar to the I will in their heart, or to the I want, or whatever it is, these four issues. They were building an altar not to God, but to whatever their desire was. And the moment they got a chance to pick between the two at 18, guess what God they bowed down to and never looked back? The altar in their heart. So just because you're up in here tonight doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm glad you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it doesn't prove anything. You ready for the third one? Number 3, Adonijah, which we mentioned him just a minute ago when we read our text. What is he? He's I deserve. I deserve. What is it that so let's go back to the story. Let me give you a little context. Amnon raped Tamar because he wanted. Tamar was his half sister and Absalom's full sister. So you know what Absalom did? Absalom murdered him in revenge. And we're not even going to get into all that stuff. Then Absalom decided, I will make myself king. That's what I will do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to plot for years. I'm going to do anything. You know, Absalom was even willing to look humble for a while. Humility was not even beneath him in order to accomplish his I will. And that's a whole nother sermon as well. Then Absalom gets killed. And notice the end of these guys. What happened to the first guy? I won't. Dead. What happened to I will? Dead. Okay. Adonijah comes along. He's next in line for the throne. The only problem is David and God has said, Solomon, your younger brother, is going to be king. But he don't care about that. Why? Because he deserves to be king. Why? Because I'm older. Okay. Now this is where religion comes in right here. This is where we start messing with those of you who are a little bit older. Because Adonijah says, I've paid my dues. And now it's my turn. And if they see it or if they don't, doesn't matter, because it's what I deserve. And Adonijah represents entitlement. Amnon represents lust and passion and all that. He's all kind of sexual weirdness. And then Absalom represents pride and ambition and rebellion and all that kind of good stuff. But then Adonijah comes along and he says, I deserve to be king. I know Solomon's supposed to be king, but I deserve to be king. He doesn't deserve to be king. I deserve to be king. I've been here the longest. I served the most. I suffered the most. I've had to sit here and watch all this go on, and I've been coming faithfully and paying my time, and they keep looking over me and asking this person to do this and that, and they ain't giving me a chance to preach, and they ain't giving me a chance to sing, and they ain't giving me a chance to do my thing and lead my group, and they hadn't asked me to be the head of this ministry, and they ain't let me lead an outreach, and they ain't, and on and on and on and on, and it sounds all well and good, but guess what? It's just as bad as the first two, and that's I deserve. And that's why our country's in all this big mess with money. Because we got a bunch of Davids ruling this country who are not willing to discipline anything or anybody. And we got a bunch of young people in this game. They say, I deserve a retirement. I deserve a job. I deserve benefits. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. I deserve. You know what? I deserve a cell phone. We decided a couple years ago, say, hey, if you don't have a cell phone, that's all right. We're going to give you one because you deserve one. And if you can't get a house, don't worry about it. We'll give you one. Why? Because you deserve it. If you can't get on the internet, don't worry about it. You deserve it. We'll give you the internet. Instead of saying, hey, get your butt down at McDonald's and flip some burgers. And if you want to use your hard-earned money to get you some internet coverage or some data plan on a cell phone that you bought with your money, go on right about it. No. You deserve it. And we done brought that right over into the church. We got people been around for 4 Sundays, and they deserve. We had a couple at our church. 25 years they were there. I remember being a little boy going to their house to eat dinner with my parents. Pillars in the church. Sat on the front row. The husband was an usher. The wife sang in the choir. She had a tambourine back. You know, we had them tambourines, one of the weird shaped moon-looking ones. You know. I mean, they made them just for weird Christians. Yeah. I mean, they use the regular tambourines even in like drum sets and kits and stuff but you don't ever get one of the ones with a handle and a half moon unless you up in the church. Some of y'all, you're not old enough to know what I'm talking about, but it's okay. You're blessed that you haven't had to. Okay. She sit on the front row, had a tambourine full of joy. But then I started noticing she wasn't that full of joy. She quit bringing her tambourine. One day she come up to the church. I'm the pastor now. She wanted to meet with me, her and her husband. But it's really her. Because Jezebel is always leading Ahab around. So he's 6'5", she 5'6", but he walk around behind her like a little puppy dog, like one of them little chihuahuas people be bringing out. See, I live in Texas, and sometimes my wife and I go over to the rich area in South Lake, and people bring their dogs to the grocery store. Like where I live, they don't bring dogs to the grocery store. But in South Lake, the dogs are so expensive, they think that they can be in there with the humans now. Like, I don't want your dog in the grocery store licking on stuff that I might want to eat. That's just me. But here they come in, they want to talk to me, and they sit down. She tells me, she says, Pastor Joe, we're leaving. I said, you are? I said, yeah. I said, well, what happened? I said, nothing. I'm like, well, I thought for sure I probably said something one Sunday and offended them and something. No, nothing like that. She said, my husband has been here 25 years, and y'all still have not ordained him. And I said, well, ma'am, I didn't know that he wanted to be ordained. But even if I did, we wouldn't ordain him, because we don't ordain people because they've been here a certain amount of time. We ordain people because they're called by God. That's why we ordain people. I said, so y'all can be here another 25 years. And he's not getting ordained because he's not an elder. And we're not going to authenticate somebody in something just because he's been around long enough. In fact, he's been around long enough for us to know he's not an elder. We know. We're sure. He knows. Look at him. He's happy as can be being an usher because he is not an elder. So they left. They went across town. They found somebody to ordain him. You know what it changed? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're just as miserable as they ever were. He's ordained. They got a piece of paper hanging up in their living room that says he's ordained. And guess what? It doesn't mean one thing. I can start calling you President Jack tonight. It don't make you the president. I can put your hand on a Bible and swear you in, but I'm not the Supreme Court justice, and you're not going to be president of the United States. And just because you go out and find somebody to authenticate your entitlement doesn't mean that it's going to fulfill you or mean one hill of beans. Woo. Why? Because I deserve it. And here I thought he was just serving in the house. And I don't put any of it on him, because he was sitting there looking at me like, Pastor Joe, I've been listening to this for so long. Please just let us go in peace. Really. But she was hell bent. She'd been sitting there on the front row with the moon pie tambourine, singing in the choir, smiling some of the time. But guess what was in her heart? I deserve. I deserve. That was in my heart. I deserve. I will be the wife of an elder. I will be honored in a way that you haven't honored me. I deserve honor. I've been here at this church 25 years, paying my tithes, sitting on the front row, playing my tambourine, smiling and greeting and loving. And guess what? I deserve from my husband to have a piece of paper on the wall at my house that I can walk by every day and see that he is ordained. Phew. That's an idol. You were wasting your time with that tambourine. You could have left that moon-shaped thing at the house. You could have sat on the back row with your arms folded and your mouth down in a frown and let everybody know how you really felt. Because the whole time, the altar you were building wasn't to Jesus, because Jesus didn't call your husband to be an elder. He didn't grace him to be an elder. He didn't put that ambition in your heart. Lucifer himself put that in your heart. And now, because of what you deserve, you're willing to give up 25 years of relationship, community, track record, loyalty, servanthood, impartation, love, covering, all that. You're willing to sacrifice it at the altar of I deserve. This is blessing me. Whew. You know, you've been in the ministry. When you've been in the ministry for a minute, you done seen all these sons. Some people got them all. They are Amnon, Absalom, Adonijah, Solomon in one. I don't know what you call it. Absalom, Adonijah, Solomon, one, all in one. Yeah. Okay. All right, now, I wish that's all there was, but there is one more. And the worst one, the last one, is the worst one. The first one is the biggest one. The I won't. That's just going crazy. I'm a man, but I want to use the women's bathroom. I want to. I don't know what it is in there. You're so hell-bent on getting in there to see or do or... Yeah, it does. It smells better. That may be what it is. All this hoopla because it smells better in there. Alex has solved the problem. See, that's wisdom right there. True wisdom. Okay. I want. And then I will says, I will. I don't know what it is. I will. Nothing will cost me too much to pay for I will. And then I deserve. Nothing will stop me from getting what I deserve. I will. I don't care if I have to take it. I don't care if I have to go start my own church, because I deserve to be a pastor and I deserve to preach every week, because gosh darn it, I'm anointed. I deserve it. I can't get anybody to agree with me. I can't get anybody to bless me. I can't get anybody to affirm me. I can't get anybody to send me. So I will just go and I will show everybody how anointed I know that I am, because I get up and I preach in front of my mirror in my bathroom and I'm telling you I'm T.D. Jakes. It happens. This is what happens. Okay. Now we come to Solomon. Now most people will say, oh, but Solomon, he was the wisest man that ever lived. Solomon, he's the one who did it right. No. That's why Solomon is the sneaky one, because you would never think that Solomon is the worst one. That's why he's the worst one. See, it's always them ones that you don't suspect. It's always, listen, I got spanked every day, y'all. I'm just going to tell you right now. There was never any mystery about what was going on with me. I got spanked every day. It was those kids in my class that never got in trouble that we ain't seen in 20 years. Because they knew how to be good until the time came for them to be bad. But I didn't. I just was bad all the time, and I just got beat. I didn't have no discretion. I just bad all the time. I guess it's a good thing. All right. What is Solomon? What is Solomon? Oh, this is the one this one right here. I can. Not I want. Not I will. Not I deserve. This is why it's so sneaky. I can. I can do this and still go to heaven. Now, let me show you where we're going to go with this. Okay. A lot of you are not old enough yet. You don't know the scriptures well enough to understand some of the nuances of what happened with Solomon. But Solomon was told in the Word of God not to marry many wives. That was a rule to the king. He broke that rule. And not just many wives, but foreign wives. He married many foreign wives. Now, if Solomon were king today and someone tried to tell him that, they would call them a legalist. I'd say, you are under the law. Because Solomon can marry whoever he wants, and he's still wise. He's still amazing. Yeah, the only problem was, later in life, they led his heart astray. And Solomon died an idolater who was offering babies as sacrifices to foreign gods. Now, Amnon raped his sister. That was pretty disgusting. Absalom did some horrific stuff. Adonijah was a very big idiot. All three got killed. All three died. But Solomon never died. He didn't get murdered. He just died away from the Lord. Because his was the most gradual of the four. I can. See, I want will lead you off a cliff. I will, what did God say? He resists the proud. God will knock you upside the head because he loves you when you're walking in pride. What did he do to Satan? He knocked him out of heaven with a bolt of lightning. God is not going to play with you with pride. He's going to discipline you, and some stuff is going, drastic stuff's going to happen. And I deserve, it's never going to end up well. It's going to blow up and turn into a big old mess, and you will know you made a mistake. And so, but I can is different. The first three are like a venomous snake. The last one's like a constrictor snake. It just wraps one coil at a time. One I can at a time. Where the one I won't can destroy you. One I will can totally wipe you out. One I deserve can annihilate you. But one I can will never destroy you. The only problem is one I can is never where it stops. Now I'm going to step on some toes here, but I'm going to make it plain. What are some of these I can? I can listen to secular music. I can go to a Katy Perry concert. There's nothing wrong with that. Are you telling me I'm going to go to hell for going to a Katy Perry concert? Well, if Jesus comes back and you're there, no. But it's never one I can that's going to lead you to sacrificing babies on a mountain outside of Jerusalem away from the temple that you built. what's up with the tattoos? It's like, well, I can get a tattoo. Yeah, you can. Exactly. You can. Don't tell me God told you to. I hear that. Lord, just put a verse. I've tattooed it on my arm. Well, good. Praise God. But the Bible says don't mark yourself like the pagans mark themselves. Just like he said, don't marry many foreign wives. And Solomon married many foreign wives. And they led him astray from God. Yeah. Wow. I can. I can date one-on-one at 16. I can be out at 1 o'clock in the morning with someone that I'm not married to in the back seat of a car, and I'm still okay. The Lord's given me self-control. No, the devil has given you pride that will serve you well. At the very moment you lose it and end up making a big mistake. Anybody seen the new Jungle Book? Oh, it's good. You got to go see it. It's clean. It's good. It's got action. But, you know, my favorite part of the Jungle Book is the snake. And I'm not even going to get into it, but there's a certain actress that played that part that I thought was very appropriate. And, you know, they changed it from a man to a woman in this one. And she comes down, and she's singing and seducing, and all the while the coils. And I was sitting there thinking, there it is. There it is. There it is. I'm in the theater, and everybody's going, ooh, and I'm going, that'll preach. I need that clip. Somebody record that for me. Somebody hit record up there. Do something. Yeah. Wrapping around. I can. There's nothing wrong. I can do that. I can date somebody who's not really saved. What's that mean? What's that mean? You know, my pastor's okay with this person I'm marrying. I mean, they have some concerns, but I had told them I can. I can smoke a cigarette. I can drink a beer. I can go to the bar. I can let my light shine in the bar. It's in the darkest places that the light shines the brightest. Give me a break. I can. Do I think if I go down here tonight to wherever the nearest bar is and go in there and order me a Bud Light that I'm going to bust hell wide open? No. It don't work like that. But I go do that once a week, and then it'll be twice a week, and then every night. Next thing you know, I'm in rehab. And I done got pulled over on the side of the road, and you're hearing, hey, did you hear Joel Stockstill got a DUI? And then guess how many people going to want to be under my ministry? 0. Why? Because I can. I can. See, it's not about what you can. It's about what you should. Should you? Well, my friend wants to set me up with this guy, and I don't really know if he's saved or not, but you know, they said he's a really good guy, and we went to one of those country western places, and it was just square dancing, and it was so much fun. I can. Say, yeah. I can. Yeah, that's one that is. This is a Texas thing. We had some girls told my wife, they said, we hadn't been able to meet anybody, so we started going down to the honky-tonk bar. They got some really great guys there. I said, if you want to be divorced in less than 5 years, there's some really good ones there. They'll accomplish that purpose with great efficiency. If you're looking to get that first divorce on the resume within about 24 months, Honky Tonk Bar is your spot. Get up in that club. Meet somebody who got 14 numbers before he got yours. That's the one for you. That's who God's been having you keep yourself for right there. I'm having to control my tongue right now because I got, ooh, man, I can. Hey, I can do it. Listen, it breaks my heart that right now the most well-known preachers of this young generation are I can preachers. They run around letting everybody know and salving their consciences that everything they want to do is okay.
That's true.
And they'll give an account to God. I don't care what you can do. It's not my job to authenticate what you can or can't do. When I grew up, we got told what you can and can't do constantly by this one. Say you can't do this, you can't. But I decided when I got into ministry, I'm not going to be a can or a can't. I'm going to be a pursue Jesus guy. Because if you'll just keep being a man or a woman after God's own heart, I won't have to chase you around and tell you what you can and can't do. You know, when I was a teenager, and it was a long time ago, 25 years ago, some of you, your parents didn't even know each other then. It was the big thing for guys to get an earring. That was the thing, man. It was cool. It was rebellious. It was like, you know, you're not going to get two. You're just going to get one. If you get two, then everybody's going to think you're gay. And that wasn't yet cool back then. Now it's like, oh, yeah, I'm gay. Here's my 14 earring. I don't care. Put one in your nose, whatever that means. We'll get an earring. And I remember being a teenager, and everybody was getting an earring. And I don't know if it was because I had big ears or what. I didn't want to bring any more attention to my ears than I was already there. I mean, the go-to cut down for me, and I was always lashing on people, was how about them ears of yours, you know. So I'm like, if an earring covered my ears, I would have got one. I don't know if it was that or what, but I just never cared about getting an earring. There was never a conversation at the Stockstill home where my dad had to threaten me and say, Joel, if you get an earring, I'm putting you out of this house. No, in fact, that never happened that I know of with any of there's 5 boys. None of us ever cared one time, ever even wanted to try to start anything over getting an earring. We didn't care. And it's funny how when you're busy pursuing Jesus, you don't really care about that kind of stuff. If you're off winning souls and fighting the devil, you're not off sitting there thinking some way you can justify getting you a tattoo. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not looking to get a tattoo. Now, you say, well, I got one, and okay, well, good. But do you need another one? Because it just seems like when you get one, next thing you know, you got 10. And then next thing you know, you got an arm. Gone. You young ladies, let me tell you something. Tattoos are not attractive. Amen. You're going to be 35, 45 years old with a tat sleeve? How you think that's going to look with some wrinkles? You think that's going to be sexy? No. 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 You're going to be wearing long sleeve blouses your whole life. I'm just listen to Joel. Just listen to me. And you laid up at night, if I could just get a tattoo. No. Listen, you can. You can. They say, well, I don't see anywhere in the Bible says I'm going to hell. I'm like, no, you're not going to go to hell. Grace of God, I'm under. Yeah, you're under the grace of God. Hey, if you okay with one coil of the snake around your feet, go right ahead. But it won't stop there. It'll be another coil, and then another coil. And next thing you know, that thing will be up here. And you're like, yeah, and then it starts squeezing on you. I can. And it's I can. You know, can is kind of breathy. I can. That's going to be your last breath. I can. I can. I can. I can. I can. I can. How many people have stood in divorce court and realized, I can? How many people have laid up in the hospital with AIDS and realized, I can? How many people have looked back on a lifetime of misery and realized, I can? See, the advantage every one of you have here tonight is you got your whole life in front of you. And no matter what you've done, you're still at a place now where you don't have to look back over 40 years and go, my God, I can, but I shouldn't have. I'm trying to help you. See, when Solomon, if he ever realized that he could, it was too late. And we don't quite know everything about how things went down with the old covenant and all that kind of stuff, but chances are Solomon is in hell tonight thinking about I can. The wisest man who ever lived did not go to heaven because he can. And here's the thing. I'm going to throw this one little thing in here, and then we're wrapping up. He married Pharaoh's daughter. Where is Pharaoh from? Egypt. Why are you going to marry somebody from the place you couldn't wait to get out of? Why you got to go back to the world to get you a wife? You could have married anybody you wanted to, but you had to go back to Egypt and get his daughter. Okay. Now that ain't even the good part. Here's the good part. Here's the good part. Yeah. No, here it is. Okay, so he moves her to Jerusalem, but he cannot move her in the city of David because the ark has been there. Now, he should have known when he had to build a special place for this new wife of his because he could not bring her into the presence of God. His first sign was not when he had 1,000 wives and one of them had him sacrifice her baby to Molech on the Mount of Olives. That wasn't when he, no. He should have known something was wrong when he couldn't bring his bride into the presence of God without violating his conscience. He couldn't do it. So what did he do? He made a room for her. And he started compartmentalizing his life. See, the world is all about, oh, well, that's over here. Let's keep that over here. And then we got this over here. And this is who we are at work. And this is who we are at church. And who you are at church, that's fine. We respect that. But don't bring that over here by us. But we're going to bring our homosexuality into the workplace. And we're going to use your bathroom. And we're going to tell your children what they ought to think. But you keep that over there. See, and that's how I can works. The I can idolatry begins with compartmentalization. If you're wondering whether or not you ought to do something, come ask this man of God or one of these men of God up here. Come ask, if you're in the youth, you're a young man, young lady, come ask Carol. Say, do you think it's a good idea for me to get a tattoo? I said, well, I knew she wouldn't understand. Yeah, well, there you go. You just built a room for Pharaoh's daughter. Well, I've been dating this girl for a few months, and I'm really starting to have feelings for it. You know, I was going to talk to Pastor Brandon, but sometimes he's a little radical. He's a little radical. So, yeah, well, hey, listen, go ahead and build that room outside the city of David. Go ahead and just get those quarters there all ready for Pharaoh's daughter, because she is back in the house to bring you back in bondage, even though you left Egypt. She about to bind you up in Jerusalem. The only thing worse than being a slave in Egypt is being a slave in Jerusalem. If you're going to be a slave of sin, you might as well get all the fun that goes with it before the destruction. Don't sit up in the church and sweat it. I never understood that. You know, my papa, his brother was a funny character. And he used to say, it's hard for me to be on my diet and eat my regular food too. And what are we saying when I say, it's hard to be in church and put forth the effort to act like you're doing the right thing and still be going out and doing the wrong thing. Why do that? So see, the other guys, they just went for it. They just were all out there wrong. Solomon, all he had was a slow cooking deception. And his deception was, I can marry Pharaoh's daughter. I can have foreign wives. And it didn't start with him marrying 30 of them either. It started with him marrying one. And guess how many he ended up with? 1,000. See, you don't jump from 1 to 1,000. You go from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 and 4 to 6. And I guess at some point he started marrying 2 and 3 at a time. I mean, I don't think he had 1,000 weddings. My God. One thing leads to another and then another. And one coil, see, when it's just one coil, you can just step out of it. One I can't, I felt a little convicted. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done it. But you really didn't repent, and you really didn't get in the light, and then next time it was 2. And he's just like Samson, I can do that. They bound me with new ropes. The Philistine. Man, Spirit of the Lord's still on me. I was in worship. Oh, man, I felt the presence. I know I was looking at pornography last night, but I repented when I got here. I know the other night things got heated up in my girlfriend's bedroom, and we shouldn't have done it. But I repented for all that. To who? Oh, me and God. No, you didn't repent. If you'd have repented, you'd have come and told leadership. Well, I can't do that because then they'd put me off the platform. No, you need to be off the platform because you're jeopardizing everybody else's worship with your own selfishness. And you got I wills and I cans and I see. Here's the hard part: is these 4 sons don't live in distinctiveness. They all flow together. And you may start off with a I want and end up with a I can, or you may start off with a I can and end up with a I deserve. I don't know. The devil doesn't care. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And all 4 of these end up in destroy. But the most diabolical is I can. I want you to bow your heads with me.